When Mia told me she was flying to Miami for a work retreat, I didn't think twice. Her job in marketing meant these quick weekend trips happened all the time. But that morning, when I casually glanced at her phone and saw a message from Ethan, her ex saying, "Can't wait to see you at the beach again," something inside me tightened. I asked her about it as calmly as I could. "You're going to Miami? With him?" She froze for a moment, then let out a nervous laugh. "Don't start, Ryan, it's just a coincidence. We're on the same client team." I didn't argue. I simply nodded, gave her a small smile, and went back to sipping my coffee. Inside, though, everything went painfully still. The quiet that hits right before a storm. In the days leading up to her trip, she acted overly sweet, packing carefully, picking out outfits, spraying perfume like she was trying to cover up guilt with expensive scents. On the morning of her flight, she kissed my cheek and said, "Don't be dramatic, okay? It's just a trip." I smiled again. "Of course. Have fun." That night, I sat alone in our living room, scrolling through old photos of us. Back when she wouldn't go a day without calling me, wouldn't sleep unless my arm was around her. But months ago, something shifted, distance, hesitation. That secret spark in her eyes whenever her phone lit up. I ignored it because I thought love meant being patient. Turns out, it also means knowing when to stop waiting. 3 hours after she landed, she posted a story, the Miami sunset to glasses of wine, and the shadow of a man she thought she cropped out. I didn't get angry. I didn't call. I didn't text. I stared at it for a moment, typed one message and hit send. "Don't rush back. Take all the time you need. The locks will agree with you." Then I turned off my phone. The next morning, I packed up her things, every dress, every shoe, every reminder of her, folded neatly and placed in boxes by the door. For the first time in months, the apartment felt still and peaceful. A week passed with nothing from her. No calls, no texts, just a steady hum of the city outside, and the quiet comfort of knowing I hadn't chased her, begged her, or tried to pull her back. I focused on work, hit the gym, and got back to routines I pushed aside when her attention always demanded mine. Then, finally, a message arrived. "Ryan, what the hell is this? Why are my things packed?" I didn't answer right away. I let it sit, let her wonder. Hours passed. More messages followed, each one more panicked. When I finally replied, I kept it simple. "Everything has a place, Mia. Yours is here until you take responsibility for your choices." She spiraled instantly, confusion, then desperation, then anger. "You can't do this. I live here. You can't just, this is insane." I stayed silent. For once, the drama wasn't on my shoulders. By day 3, she called. I let it ring in my hand before picking up. "Ryan, this isn't funny. I can't believe you're doing this. I went to Miami for work." "Yes, he was there. But that doesn't mean anything. You're overreacting." I took a slow breath. "Mia, this isn't about overreacting. It's about boundaries. About honesty. You flew across the country with someone who used to sleep in your bed, and you didn't tell me. And now you think everything's fine?" Her voice cracked. "I didn't think it mattered. We've been drifting. You're always working, always tired, always what?" I cut in softly. "Always trusting you, Mia. Always hoping you choose honesty over convenience." She had no answer. That night, she showed up at the apartment, crying, angry, trying to shove her boxes back inside. "This is ridiculous. You're punishing me." I stepped aside, calm and steady. "No, Mia. I'm responding. You made your choice. I'm just accepting it." She looked at me like she was seeing me clearly for the first time in months. Not the guy who begged. Not the guy who ignored her distance. Not the guy who tried to hold everything together while she drifted away. But the man who finally refused to let betrayal slide. She didn't yell anymore. She didn't touch the boxes. She just stared, realizing she had underestimated the quiet patience of someone who already decided he deserved better. By morning, she wasn't fighting. She sat on the edge of the bed, hair messy, eyes swollen, clutching her phone like it had answers she couldn't find. I stood by the window, watching cars move slowly down the street, thinking about all the time I spent pretending nothing was wrong. "Ryan," she whispered, voice breaking. "I didn't mean for it to get this far." I shook my head. "Mia, it didn't get this far. You went to Miami with your ex. You hid things. You let him stay in your life while pretending I didn't exist. That's not an accident. That's a choice." Her lips trembled. "I just thought you wouldn't notice. You'd understand." I let out a short, controlled laugh. "Understand? I trusted you. I gave you space. I gave you everything I had. And this is what I ended up with." She lowered her head, finally quiet. The fight had drained out of her. I stepped closer. "Listen," I said softly. "This isn't about punishing you. It's about the truth. I'm done pretending your actions don't have consequences. I'm done covering for someone who doesn't respect trust. You went to Miami with him. You lied. You chose him, even for a moment, and that moment was enough. Tears rolled down her face. And for a brief second, I almost felt sorry for her, almost. But pity doesn't fix betrayal. I'm leaving, Mia, I said, reaching for my coat. You'll stay here. You'll figure out your life. I won't do it for you anymore. She stood up fast, panic replacing anger. Ryan, please don't do this. I can fix it. I swear I can. I raised my hand. No. Fixing it would mean pretending you didn't break it in the first place. And I can't do that. Not for you. Not for anyone. I walked out, closing the door gently behind me. I didn't look back. The soft click of the lock felt louder than any argument we'd ever had. Days later, she called again, left voicemails, tried reaching out. I stayed silent. And honestly, that silence was a final relief. The space I needed to rebuild myself without carrying the weight of her choices. Some people think walking away makes you weak. I learned it's the strongest thing you can do. Some think staying quiet means you don't care. I learned it means you finally care about yourself. In losing her, Mia lost the control, the excuses, the illusions. And in letting her go, I gained something she could never give back.